When you're thinking about upgrading your phone and you go to a product page such as the one for the iPhone, you're given plenty of options to choose from. You can choose to get the regular size or the mini, then you can choose a color, and then you can also decide on a storage size. By offering multiple options for the same product, customers can quickly go from thinking, do I need an iPhone, to which iPhone should I get? Apple could realistically just offer one iPhone, but by providing more options, they're making the offer more flexible so that it can be suited to each individual customer. Now, the same rules apply to services and projects. By offering different project options, rather than clients thinking, should I go ahead with this project, they might think, what option should I go ahead with? So how many options should you offer? What can you offer for each different option? And what should you charge for each option? Well, we're going to go over each of these in this video. So let's say you've drafted a proposal for a new potential client that outlines the scope of work for a website redesign. You might decide a price based on a rough estimate of your hourly rate, multiplied by how long you think it will take, with a bit of a buffer on top. Now, if you're currently working off hourly-based pricing, I'm going to explain when you should use hourly and when you should use project pricing in a different video. So let's say, for example, the price comes out to $12,000 for a full redesign of a website, including a design stage in Figma, development in Webflow, and help with launch. Well, rather than giving our client just the one option for them to either do the project or not do the project, we can give our client two other options to choose from, a cheaper option and a premium option. So now we can think, if we offered a cheaper project option, what might that look like? Well, it's unrealistic to think that we can just remove certain pages from the scope and the client won't mind. They're probably still going to want the full scope of the website. Instead, we might reduce the design process. So rather than designing every page in Figma, we might only design 3 pages with a couple of rounds of revisions, and then base the rest of the website in development around those 3 pages. Or maybe you might start from a Webflow template and do your designs in Figma based around that template. So when you get into development, you already have a system for your website and Webflow set up. Either way, you're looking for ways that you can make the process faster, so that it takes less hours for you and can be a cheaper option for the client. On the other side of our options, we have the premium option. So we can think about what we might be able to offer on top of our current project to make things easier for the client in the long run. For this, you might offer a detailed training of Webflow for your client, or you can offer a month of development support after launch in case they ever need to come back to you for anything else. Or maybe you'll offer help with setting up integrations for things like Facebook Pixel to track advertising. Think about what added knowledge that you can provide that the client hasn't asked for but might be helpful for them. So what can you uniquely offer that they might not be able to find anywhere else? You could even add in the drag and drop symbol system so that they can create new pages themselves inside the project, which I've covered in a separate video. Either way, you're looking for that secret sauce that you can add to your premium project option to give added value at an additional cost. The other way of outlining different project options is adding 2 premium options if you can't think of a way to break down or reduce the original scope. If you want to use this method, you can instead break down your premium option into 2 options. So you have the initial project scope as the first option, a pro option, and then a premium option. Think of it in the same way that a product like Slack offers multiple different plans depending on the features that are included. That way a customer can pick the plan that's most suitable for them. The other benefit to laying out several different project options is that depending on what option they pick, you're making it clear what's not included in the scope, which means this is a great way to reduce scope creep. If they pick your first cheaper option, and then at the end of the project they ask for help to integrate advertising tracking, it's already outlined in the proposal that that wasn't included in the option they chose. Now you can price the different project options however you want, but it's best to start pricing out the initial full scope of the work that the client is asking for, and then working around that. For example, we're setting the website redesign to cost $12,000, so we might add a cheaper option where we start with a template for $9,000, and then finally we add in the premium option where we provide full integration support for $15,000. So there's no perfect way to price the different options, but just keep in mind the time that it's going to take to do the extra work, or the time that you'll save when you shorten the process. There's no perfect way to price the different options, but just keep in mind the time that it's going to take for you to do the extra work, or the time that you're going to save when you shorten the process, and make sure that the client is getting the same amount, if not more value for that price. So to reiterate, provide multiple project options to your client so that they're comparing the options rather than having to simply say yes or no. Outline a cheaper option by reducing the design or development process, and a premium option by adding on what you can uniquely provide. Otherwise, add 2 premium options with extra benefits for each one. Then price your project options accordingly, making sure to factor in the time that it will take for you to do the extra work and the amount of value that the client's going to get. That's all for now for project options, so let me know if there's something else that you want me to further cover related to projects and pricing. Otherwise, let me know in the comments how you approach project options. I'd also love to know if you have any feedback or if there is a specific tutorial you want to see, so feel free to email me or comment below, and I'll see you on the next one.